My pathogen is named Jejuni, and this is by Piers Motley. I apologize in advance. I'm going to butcher some of these names. The scientific name for this pathogen is Campylobacter jejuni or C. jejuni. The higher order taxa is bacteria. The domain and kingdom is also bacteria. That is because both of these organisms are prokaryotes and they lack membrane brown organelles. The phylum is Proteobacteria. The class is Epsilon Proteobacteria. The order is Campylobacteriales. The family is Campylobacteria, Bacteriaceae, and the species is Campylobacter. And this is what it looks like. So, the life cycle of this pathogen. So, Jejuni grows in areas that are microaerophilic conditions. So, that means that they have low levels of oxygen. The temperature range this area will grow in, or this bacteria will grow in, is between 37 degrees Celsius and 42 degrees Celsius. This bacteria is a very fragile bacteria, and freezing can reduce the numbers of this bacteria, but it will not kill this bacteria. Heating can kill the bacteria. This bacteria typically likes to be, is adapted to birds because of the bird's body temperature. The bird's body temperature is about 40 to 42 degrees Celsius, and that falls perfectly in the range of what this bacteria likes to grow in. They reproduce by the process of binary fusion, which is an asexual reproduction process that takes an organism and splits the organism into two identical organisms. And it grows slowly than other bacteria. One of the most common areas to find this bacteria is contaminated water, such as contaminated water that has feces in it. So as you can see for both animals and humans, how they both can get this very commonly is the surface water. The appearance. So generally, a general appearance, general shape is the helix shape, a curved rod shape, as we can see. Underneath a microscope, it is typically a curved S shape and it forms spiracles. And on a petri dish, it's a petri dish using agar. The colonies are small and medium sized. They have regular edges, a grayish color, and a mucoid appearance, which just means that it's just a sticky / wet appearance. So, as you can see right here, this color is a pinkish color. This pinkish color indicates that the gram status is going to be a gram-negative bacteria. So this bacteria has quite a few antibiotics that it is resistant to. One very popular one that you may know is ampicillin, which is a penicillin that is basically used to treat bacteria in meningitis, throat issues, lung issues, and GT tract issues. The medical condition or diseases that this bacteria causes is acute gastroenteritis, which has to do with the GT tract. Guillain-Barré syndrome, which has to do with, it's an immune system that attacks the peripheral nerves. And the most common condition it's going to cause is Campylobacteriosis, which has to do with the inflammation of the intestines. So humans can get this disease by different ways. They can get it from undercooked meat and raw meat, contamination of milk, and contaminated water sources. So this contamination is typically going to be foodborne. So because Campylobacteriosis is the most common condition that's associated with this bacteria, these are the symptoms of this condition. Fever, diarrhea is typically bloody, stomach cramps, nausea, and vomiting. So a person who is affected with this condition, these symptoms will typically last about a week, and the symptoms would typically start about 2 to 5 days, or between 2 to 5 days from being infected with this bacteria. The treatment for this is antibiotics. So antibiotics such as erythromycin or azithromycin. So in the ending, which is mycin, is basically to stop the growth of bacteria or kill bacteria, which is why this antibiotics is important in order to get rid of this condition. So the prevention is just avoid eating raw foods, raw and pasteurized, dairy products, and drinking from lakes and streams. So as you can see, this diagram right here just pretty much shows how someone can get it. So like person to person over here from their pets, consumption of raw meat, consumption of contaminated milk or meat, the birds, because remember the birds' body temperature is ideal for the growth of this bacteria, and contact with farm animals, as well as consumption of contaminated water. So interesting fact that I found out was Campylobacter can cause infertility, abortions, and enteritis. When I say abortion, I mean that a person who has this, said woman is pregnant, it can possibly lead to the unborn child passing away. And then enteritis is a inflammatory bowel disease that you will find in animals. This bacteria is prevalent in warm-blooded species / animals. Thank you.